Okay, so hello and welcome to Gaming Masters. Today we're going to be playing some Battlefield 1. Now, I've not really played much Battlefield in the past few months, possibly even year and a half. The last time I properly played it was probably a month or two after Hardline launched. I did play a bit when Battlefield 1 was being revealed, and I kind of just dropped off again because I've been playing other things, I've been doing other things. And I've been playing some of the Battlefield 1 Origin Access trial recently, and I've been having a fairly good experience, but I just wanted to voice my opinion on a few things about the state of the game at the moment, and what I think the game may be lacking, and what I enjoy about the game at the moment. Personally, I think that the game is probably, as I go to say, the best game in the Battlefield franchise that has been released to date. It's got really good visuals, it's got a huge variety of different bits of content, and a whole brand new way of telling a story with it coming from multiple different perspectives, going back in time, and it's just fairly realistic and nitty and gritty with the World War I history and things like that in the campaign. And then the multiplayer is also really good fun as well, because you have some of the largest maps in the Battlefield franchise to date. You have really well worked maps, you have good content, and different game modes, and also mechanics which have been added to the game, which some first-person shooters have been lacking recently. For example, the behemoths which have been added into Battlefield 1 is a really good way to counter the enemy team if you're falling behind. The game can really change quite quickly as you play through the conquest or rush or something like that. So the behemoths are quite good counter to try and change the tide of the game and possibly win when you're losing quite far behind. And I really enjoy that. You also have the kind of hero system, which is similar to the system in Star Wars Battlefront, where you can pick up characters, super characters as such, with flamethrowers, or what's it called, LMGs, for example, which also helps you have different approaches to the way that you play, and is slightly overpowered, but then they're a good way to turn the tide of the game. And I really enjoy that. But then you go into the bits and bobs with the gameplay and things like that. The gameplay runs smooth, haven't really had any bugs or issues. Servers are stable, which is always a positive thing, especially after Battlefield 4's launch just over 3 years ago now. And it's a shame that even though they have brought some things that we've missed from the franchise for a while, for example, the destruction levels that Battlefield 1 has, we haven't seen since Bad Company 2, if not seen before in the franchise, because it is really good destruction. Some things, however, are missing, in my opinion. I feel that the content in terms of the variety of different weapons, gadgets, and things like that is very limited. And also, I'm not sure if previous Battlefield games have been this limited at launch. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I feel that the 6 game modes and 9 maps that we have at launch, I think those are the exact numbers, are very limiting, because we're not going to be seeing a DLC until the beginning of next year. There is a free DLC content drop in December for all players, but the first major DLC won't be until the beginning of next year. So we're going to have a longer wait for new content to be coming to the game, and usually we have an expansion with 1 or 2 months of the game launching, so that keeps the player base alive. But they're going the Star Wars Battlefront route, where there's a longer period of time in between the DLCs dropping, which means obviously, hopefully, better worked maps, and the players can learn and level up throughout the base game, and it kind of keeps the game alive a bit longer. That, in theory, works. However, the content that has been launched in the base game, I feel fairly limited by. this is mainly because the weapons that they've done at the moment, you don't have the same weapons in every single class, or a weapon class in every single class. You're going to be having a system where every single weapon in every single class is unique to that specific class. So you won't have SMGs across all 4 classes. You're going to be having snipers only on the sniper class. You're going to be having LMGs only, or SMGs only on the support class. And it works like that. So you don't have 4 different weapon classes inside each class. It's just one weapon class, which in concept is really good, because it means that you're not going to be having scouts when you're playing TDM, because that's close quarters, and you're not going to be sniping close quarters, particularly in Battlefield at least. And if you do, you're going to be changing it to the smaller iron sights, and you're probably going to struggle quite a bit, so people go for more team-based classes, for example the medic, where you can heal people, which is something that you need in TDM, because it's kills that matter in TDM, which in theory works really well. But the problem with the classes at the moment is that you may have, for example, 4 different guns per class, and then you have 2 different variants of that class. I mean weapons, sorry. So in effect you have 8 weapons, but it's not particularly the weapons aren't particularly different between each other, and I feel that fairly limiting. And then also there isn't that many gadgets. I think that part of the thing, in my opinion, is that the classes are fairly limited as to what you can do with them at the moment, and it's a little bit harder to unlock your next weapon as such for your class. So you're going to possibly not have as much variety with the game as you would with previous games, because with Battlefield 4, for example, you leveled up to a new XP level with that class, you got a new gun straight away. With this, you need to buy them with war bombs, which kind of, if you look at it, reminds you of Battlefield Hardline, where you earn cash, but that was kind of instead than XP, and it kind of works alongside XP, so you would earn the cash a lot quicker. War bombs are fairly hard to earn, and then you don't have that many weapons in your class to start with, or really to earn, so you're not going to have as much variety throughout the early stages of the game, and even into the late stages of the game, until the DLC drops, which may be, I don't know, beginning of next year. And personally, I don't really like it. I think it's because I'm used to Battlefield 4, where you have almost 200 guns. You then have, I don't know, about 130 gadgets. So you have quite a lot of variety. Obviously, that game has gone through quite a lot of different bits of content, but because you don't have the guns across all classes, you don't have as much variety, and then you probably are limited by, I think it's about 10 per class. That's about 40 guns, and then about 5 different pistols or so. So that cuts it down by quite a bit, which in some ways is a good thing, because you look at Battlefield 4 and a lot of people say, oh, there's way too much weaponry in the game and I don't know what to play with, some weapons you don't use ever, and now you go to Battlefield 1 and they've cut it down quite considerably. And I don't know, I would like to see possibly some free content updates where they added new weapons or something like that, just to keep the player base alive, trying to earn something more before the DLCs drop, and possibly have some different game modes thrown into the mix. I don't know, I just feel a little bit limited, and I don't want to feel limited in a Battlefield game, because Battlefield is supposed to be an open game with loads of different ways of playing and loads of different varieties of weapon setups and things like that. I know that they're trying to keep it realistic to World War One, but it's feeling more and more like Call of Duty, sadly. In my opinion, that is, because Call of Duty, you have 10 weapons per class, you have about 3 different gadgets or skills or whatever they call them, and then you have about 2 different secondaries, and okay, that works for Call of Duty, but I don't think it does for Battlefield. Anyway, I'm just voicing my general opinion. I think that the Battlefield is a very, very good game, and it's got different bits of variety in there, and it is something that a lot of Battlefield fans will love, but I do feel that in some places the content is lacking. I'd like to know your opinions of Battlefield 1 so far with the Origin Access trial, and if the game is fully out on Tuesday or Friday, depending on which version you pre-ordered or are going to purchase, what your thoughts of it now that it's launched as well. If you think that you completely disagree with my opinion of some bits of the content lacking, or if you think that there is plenty of content for people to explore in Battlefield 1. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in the comments section down below. We will be doing loads of videos on Battlefield 1 in the upcoming weeks and months, varying from future content that may be coming to the game, news updates, weapon reviews, loadout sessions and things like that. So really do hope you've enjoyed this video. We'll be seeing you very, very soon on the Gaming Masters YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, follow, and of course, as always, subscribe. It's very much appreciated. And we'll be seeing you in the next video.